So here you go, guys. Here's the new parts for the 430 motor. There's these are stens parts. Like I said, I was gonna do this cheap rebuild on this and see what happens. But I checked the rings and the clearance and everything looks good on them. I didn't do a video on that. I did that on a the 44L I put together last winter. Actually, if you guys want to see how to check the end gap and rings and stuff, go back to that. But everything gapped out good, top and second ring. I need to check the oil rings yet. Piston to skirt piston to skirt to cylinder clearance look good. The piston's nice and tight. The only thing I'll have to do is I want to check the connecting rod to the crank and make sure nothing's loose there. And as long as we're good there, we'll put it together and we'll send it, see what happens. So hopefully that'll be the next part of this, guys. Because I think I am going to call it quits for today. A little early, but Saturday, kind of cold. So I got this to a point where it'll almost run. I'm going to put oil in it. Transmission to move it. And I need new solenoid. So I think I'm going to stop with that for now, and then I'll switch over to this. Because once I get this thing so it'll run and drive out of the shop, then I can keep working on making it yellow again and such. So, alright, guys, that's it for me today. Catch you on the next one. Later. Well, actually, this may just be the beginning of this video. So, next one, guys. Later. Alrighty, guys, so first step in any cooler rebuild is actually clean a space off on your bench so you can work. Which I haven't cleaned this bench off in I don't know how long. And I do actually like this bench for the fact that it's kind of high, because it's about stomach high for me. You guys probably won't be able to see that, but I don't have to bend over or look down at all so your neck doesn't hurt. So, now we got all that under control. Pretty sure, as far as I remember, you guys can see the edge of the bench, right? Yeah, you guys can see the edge of the bench. So here's what we started out with. The piston and rings, connecting rod and piston. So, whenever I did this, I ordered stens parts. You guys can judge, say what you want, whatever. They're cheap. We're a stens and a Kohler dealer at work, but for the price of the stens stuff, I couldn't even get anywhere near a Kohler, a single piece of this. So, and I'll let you guys know a price on what I paid for it and what your average guy would pay if you guys really want to know about it. But just remember, I work for a dealer and I get a discount, so that it makes doing these rebuilds and stuff a lot easier for me, because I can get them a little bit cheaper. So, now that we got that out of the road, we're going to start by looking at the pistons. They look, well, if I hold them the same way, they look pretty much the same to me. Looking around, because the old piston looks about the same as the new piston, and there is not, near as I can tell, there is not a directional arrow to which way this piston goes in, because there's no expansion slot. There's just grooves in around the oil ring for the oil to drain down through when it scrapes it off, the oil scraper. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, this one's exactly the same. Unless this had a stens piston and rod in it before. It's possible. I'm pretty sure this was a Kohler rod in it though, because see it has see the little nub right there cast in. And let's see. This one here, mark is in the same location, but see it's flat right there. instead of like this side where it's completely rounded and not flat at all. That's how you put the rod cap line back up with the rod the way it's supposed to be. I do have, there's two nubs here that I can see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it here, but there's two nubs here. So it looks exactly the same, and like I said, this may even be a stens rod for all I know. Who knows? So, without further ado, I'm just kind of looking at it. Looks like they polished it up a little bit. It's got a little bit of graininess to it. But it's a lot better than what we had. So. Alright, now that we got that figured out and realized that everything's basically the same, the only difference I saw is the old piston has a 4-piece oil scraper ring, and the new piston has a 3-piece. This is, let's see, this is the second ring, and the top ring is a chrome ring. So for right now, I'm just going to lay them to the side. And then we have the oil scraper ring, and this has the wafer in it, what I like to refer to the style as. So start by putting the oil ring on. You want to put the wafer in first, I'm pretty sure. And the key with the rings, the main thing is, above all, is you don't want the end gaps to line up, and you don't want them to be in line with the piston pin or anything like that. You want to stagger them, so just make sure they're staggered. So I already lost track of this one because of the wafer, but it's right here. So I'm going to put it about halfway between the pin and the skirt. Now the oil rings, let's see, is there a top and a bottom to these? I do have the ring instructions laying over here. These look like they already have some oil on them. Let me see if it says anything about the oil rings. Basically, looks like both oil rings are the same. And stagger them 1 inch on either side is what it's saying. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, don't get in a hurry when you're installing rings, because right here is about the most common time for you to break a ring, is when you're installing it. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind outside, but it's pretty windy here in PA today. Today is Sunday the 24th, if I remember right. So, like I said, I'm just going to stagger them like so. Let's see, there's that end gap. And the other one is right here. So, like I said, they're just not lined up. And probably what I tend to do when I'm putting motors together, right, wrong, or otherwise, is I tend to just you can either stagger the rings as you go up, or you can stagger this one that way and then come over 1 inch on this side with the next one. That's all preference, because these rings, when you are using this, you know, the rings are free to move in the grooves, and they can rotate and line up while you're using it. Is it a real common thing? It's not real common. That's why when people say they get engines that'll, you know, smoke for just a minute or something and then stop, it's generally the rings rotating and lining up. So oil ring is assembled and together. I don't really like how it's binding, but it's not binding, but it's like binding on itself. So hopefully when I go to put the piston in, it won't cause me an issue. So, now there is a right and a wrong way to install the second ring. Basically, you want the number facing up, and there's actually a little bit of a bevel. Yeah, I can see it here. And the bevel actually needs to go down, from what I'm seeing. Right? Install rings with dot up towards the top of piston. For rings without dots, see drawing. But that helps a lot. So yeah, does it have a dot? But it has. Now I see it's marked second, so I'm going to put the second. It's actually showing the bevel up. That's weird, because there's basically one of two ways to do this, guys. The right way and the wrong way. Arrow indicates the top of piston. I actually see it show both directions. Dot is up. With no dot, or with dot, put the bevel down. Without dot, put the bevel up. So why in the hell does that make a difference? You think you always want the bevel the same direction. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, since it says second, I'm going to put that towards the top. Right, wrong, or otherwise, well, the proof will be when we start it. It'll either smoke a lot, which I'm going to go probably. And once you start getting into the second and the top rings, definitely be more careful there. If you have a ring tool, now would be the time to use it. And the other thing you shouldn't do is what I just did. And I accidentally let the second ring go into the top ring gap, because there can be a little bit of a pain to get back out. So I got that. I'll line this one up about with the wrist pin over here, just to be on the safe side. And the top ring, I'm going to do the same thing. It says top. This one appears to be square, near as I can tell. Does not look like there's a bevel to it. So I'm going to put it towards the top. Checking. Simple as that to install your own rings, guys. On the piston. This is actually the easy part. Trying to get it down the cylinder can be kind of entertaining. So, next step is basically, I have not pre-fit this to make sure these actually go together. This would be kind of entertaining if they didn't. So basically, should put a little bit of oil on this before I put it together. It's going to take a, oh, actually, I remember I was oiling up the planetary on a Kohler powered. This is just 1030 motor oil is what I put on there. You just want something on this, so first couple times around, it's not running dry. Because that's what tears the motors up really quick. Like if you put a brand new motor together and it blows up instantly, or develops a rod knock within a really short runtime, it's because you didn't oil stuff 9 times out of 10. Most of the damage is done at startup. Unless you run it without oil in the pan at all, and then that was your own fault. So now this style, this stens pieces I have, they use snap rings. Now I'm gonna see. Do I have a good screwdriver handy? Yes, I do. I'm gonna see if I can put this in here without using snap ring pliers. Some of you guys are probably laughing already, and there's a possible outcome of this. But okay, it started in there. Not gonna lie, that noise kind of scared me. It sounded like a snap ring going blow in that direction somewhere. Alright, I got it in there. Now you want to push the piston pin up against it. Let's see, it is not sitting on dipper, believe it or not. Okay, started. Guys heard it and pop in the groove there. Alright, everything is put together. So now the only thing I'm going to do is I'll wipe the piston off with a rag, and before we go and put it in, I will put some oil on this, and whenever we get close to putting in the crank, I will also put some oil here. It's going to be hard for me to show you guys doing the connecting rod just because I'm doing it on the tractor. If it was on the bench, I could show it a lot easier, but I didn't want to take the motor off of this and inspect the planetary. I just wanted to put this motor back together, make this motor a lot tighter and better than it was, because the connecting rod was so out of round on this thing when I took it apart. It wasn't even funny. Because even my Harbor Freight caliper said it was way off. And I checked it with another set of good calipers at work, and I got basically the same measurements. It might have been a thousandths difference, but yeah, it was way off. So, alright. Next time you see this, guys, we will be at the tractor, and we'll be trying to install it. I'm going to say this now, and I said it once already. Make sure this oil hole here in the rod cap goes towards the camshaft. Towards the camshaft. And then basically you have to make sure to orient this right when you put it together. Put the piston and rod down in. So, my heater's back on. I gotta clean the cylinder and a little bit of flash rust off the crank. And then once I get that done, I'll see you guys over there.